You're listening to The Building Code. I'm Tom Houghton.
I'm Paul Worth.
And today we're doing a feature spotlight episode on ToDos.
This is our third feature spotlight.
These are great tools for anybody who's trying to learn about Buildertrend, whether you're using it or you're looking at Buildertrend to learn more about our product.
Yeah, it's more about the functionality. And what's also great is that we get to bring on a guest. And today's guest is another longtime Buildertrend employee.
That's right. We're joined by Jeff Koraleski.
Hey, how are you?
Hello, Jeff.
We're great, Jeff. Thanks for joining us.
That moment seemed very like NPR radio for some reason. I'm not going to say like the normal SNL skit, but
Yeah,
you know what I mean?
I did. It did feel that way.
Let's pep it up. We don't want to be nothing against NPR radio,
It's true.
but let's
Great.
just get it a little more excited.
Yeah.
Hello, Jeff.
Hey, Paul, how are you?
Good. I'm doing great. Thanks.
Well, Jeff, let's start off with a little background about you. Tell us your role here at Buildertrend, how long you've been here, and we'll go from there.
Gotcha. I am on my 5th year here at Buildertrend. I started as a customer success manager, a Buildertrend coach now, I think is what we're calling it all.
Yep.
Through that time, I have done a good stint up in the product department, and now I am a technical service manager.
Well versed.
Yep.
And that's pretty typical for a technical service manager because there is a second one in a row we've had on is that you need to be very familiar with the product, right?
Yep. Yeah.
And also have the customer service side where you started.
Yeah, got to be able to talk to everybody, got to know what the program does, how it should function, what things would help boost it in the future.
Yeah, so for a quick refresher for everybody, a TSM, Technical Services Manager, basically you're the liaison between the client and our product team. Like, what do you want to see? What's not working? I'll go fix that.
Yep, exactly right.
Yep. So you just hit the easy button and there it is.
Yeah, right?
That's what everybody thinks.
Yeah, let's dive into ToDos. Let's talk about the functionality of the feature. So where they can find it, what's the benefit of it? Take it away.
Great. So our ToDos themselves, they are located under the project management tab there for us, just simply called ToDos. Really the best thing about ToDos is that a couple things actually. They're pretty easy to use and they are for all walks of life. I mean, it doesn't matter how big or small the company is, doesn't matter how many users are using it, everybody can find value in our ToDos.
Yeah, it's super flexible because first you could use it for your own personal task management. So ToDos or task management, we're probably going to float in between both those terminologies.
Yep.
It's also one of the only features that can be used by the owner, the subs, and the users.
Yep.
Right? And it's also job specific, but then you could also have like a general job you could run it on.
Yep. I've seen so many different ways people are using ToDos now. It's pretty incredible to see it, whether they're using it for, say, just basic day-to-day task management, whether they're using it for punch lists. I've seen people even use it just to order office supplies.
Yeah, exactly. That makes sense. I mean, if you're going to have your whole life in Buildertrend, you might as well create a to-do for it.
Yep.
What is some of your experience when you're onboarding people of what they were using previous to ToDos?
Previous to ToDos, a lot of people, if they were staying within Buildertrend, they were just creating a bunch of schedule items,
Right.
putting them all on the same day or multiple days throughout the time. Besides that, I saw people would create Excel spreadsheets and load them up into the docs section, and then just go through and check off things through the through our BT Connect option there for them.
Yeah, and did you have people even like outside of Buildertrend just writing on pieces of paper or back of drywall pieces and things
All the
like
time.
that?
Yep, that was always one of those things. Is people when they first came into Buildertrend, one of the first things they asked was, "How do I print this off with my whole list?" Because they always have somebody who's not using a smartphone or anything like that, and they want paper.
Yeah, exactly. We're trying to get them away from that.
Yep.
Yeah, it's good. Save the trees.
It's good. Good mission.
Yeah, you're an environmentalist.
Apparently.
I mean, you love solar and you have a Tesla.
I mean, I just think we could be good stewards with the materials we've been given.
I agree.
Yeah, we can always do better.
That's right.
Moving.
Speaking of better,
Oh, segue.
Yeah.
Segue Tom.
I should get a Segway.
Tommy Segue.
I should just run around the office on a Segway.
That would be on brand for you.
That would be. I think so. So ToDos.
For somebody who's never used this feature, let's just kind of break it down.
Yeah.
Right? So what are some of the great features within this feature and how would that help them day to day, right?
So the primary function of a to-do is being able to create your checklist. You know, whether it's say you're just walking the site and you start seeing a list of things that need to get fixed, you can just pull open your mobile app and start creating your checklist right there and assigning that to any user that needs to be aware, needs to be able to fix it right there for you.
That's a unique one. So a lot of task management apps out there, again, to-dos or task management apps, they'll let you create a checklist, but then you won't be able to assign the individual items to an individual user, sub or owner.
Yep.
But we made that update, a year and a half ago or so, that not only can you assign a line item within one to-do, so just call it you're on the Johnson job and you're doing the final punch list. Let's say you have 10 items, you can assign them the line item to the specific user or sub, and also add like a specific photo to the line item.
Yep. Yeah.
So what would the use case that be there?
Yeah, so I always like using punch list as the example for to do, just because, like you said, you're on the Johnson job and you're walking through and you see, I don't know, say like a hole in the wall or something like that. I mean, obviously a house has plenty of walls. You want to take a nice quick picture of it to just kind of specify where it is. You know, you can even use our photo annotations to highlight the area that needs to get fixed there for you. And then from there, assign that particular checklist item to your sub to get it fixed. But then you can also assign the overall to-do to your homeowner, so that way they can go through and verify that the work's actually been done for you right then and there too.
You know, the other thing, have you seen our clients use it where they'll assign a line item to the drywall guy with a photo of the hole in the wall, and then request that the sub not only checks it off, but adds their own photo of the completed work.
Yeah. That's actually being able to add in those additional photos. I think that was a new update that came out just this past year as well for us.
There you go.
Yep.
That's a great follow-up to that. I think we frequently focus on taking the photo beforehand, but actually doing a photo afterwards to make sure the work got done correctly.
Right.
That's a good point there for everybody.
Yeah.
Let's talk about the fact that you can add a deadline to the to-dos. That's kind of again, you know, if I'm making a to-do list like in my notes app on my iPhone, you know, it's just like the circle dots. There's nothing else tied to that. So we kind of talked about we obviously can assign to somebody else, but let's talk about deadlines.
Yeah, that's also another one of those great features about to-dos is we always like to focus on like being able to hold everybody accountable for their work on the job site there for you. So you have that deadline. Great thing about the deadline is it's going to start sending out reminders to anybody assigned to it.
Right.
But then also when people do go through and start marking everything off complete, whether it's just a checklist item or the overall to do itself, a date and timestamps of when that user is marking it completed. So later on, you can go back and see, was this completed on time there for you? We're holding everybody accountable.
Yeah. So it's kind of like RFIs. So we'll tease that for the next feature spotlight.
Nice.
Where at any given time during the job, somebody who owns this phase can go, what has not been done yet? So like going to search for your undone to-dos on a job is super simple.
Yep. Yeah.
The other thing with deadlines is you can actually tie to-dos or checklists to the schedule items. They really work very cohesively together. So a use case there that I've always used like post-framing checklist. So whenever we have framing in a schedule, we're going to have at the last day of framing a checklist assigned there. So before we move on to the next schedule item or the next phase, we're going to ensure that it gets done. Yeah?
Yeah, exactly right.
Yeah. And people I've talked to said that that's a living, breathing to-do. What I mean by that is like if we're a home builder and our post-framing checklist starts off at 10 items, well, the next home we do, we might go, shoot, we got to make sure we do that every time moving on. So now we got the 11th item and it just keeps building, right? So every job's got the most current to-do list.
Yeah, exactly right. In fact, actually another feature that I really like about to-dos is, or another benefit is, I always call it reusability.
Yeah.
And we have that option where you can actually copy a to-do from one job into the next job. So that way you don't have to start off your whole checklist right off again in there for you. You can keep reusing it over and over and over again. So there's a new update that just came out where you'll be able to actually set your to-dos to be a recurring item on your schedule, or even just in the to-dos themselves there for you. So if you want to set it, so say like every 2 weeks, you want the same checklist to walk through your site there for you, you'll be able to have all that information already pre-populated for you.
So is that a good example of an idea that came from one of our clients?
Yep. Yeah, it's one of the...
They had a real world problem. They said, I can't do this in Buildertrend efficiently. So they would reach out to their coach first, and then that coach would hand the baton off to a TSM like you. And then you would then take all that information and get it up to our
product team.
It goes in the product roadmap, and out comes this beautiful new update.
Yeah. Yeah. In fact, I think the actual pain point was, you know, even though we have the option to copy to-dos, it was still a manual process to go through and copy a to-do for every other week. Therefore, you'd have to go through a series of checks to get that set up there for you. Whereas now, it's going to function almost exactly like our way to set up recurring schedule items there for you, where you just hit copy, select how often you want it to go, and you're all set.
Good.
That's such a great example of, you know, we really pride ourselves in listening to our customers, and there was a pain point that multiple people probably spoke up about. And so our engineering team took a look at it, and those guys do really great work here in Omaha, Nebraska to get the product at the best it could be.
Heartland developing at its best.
That's right. The Silicon Prairie.
So Jeff, let me ask you about that. You and your team at TSMs, is that how you win in your job? Like you see the request come in and you see it all the way to the release?
Yep. Yeah. So the request comes in for us here, and then it's usually whoever the TSM is that sends it up to our product team. When our product team starts having meetings about, what's the goal to, the meeting about the actual functionality. And then when we have the actual kickoff to our dev team, we sit in it every step of the way.
Your job is to encourage ideas and updates and pain points from our clients because that's what you do all day long.
Yep.
So we'll give you guys all Jeff's personal phone number.
Check the show notes.
Address. All that.
No, it's good. You guys are doing a lot of work behind the scenes, and you're making a difference in how people use the product, and I think that just is fantastic. So shout out to all the TSMs and all the hard work they do.
Thanks.
Let's talk about priorities. You can set priorities. You can add tags to your to-dos. We obviously kind of talked about attachments a little bit as well, but jumping back to priority, you can set a priority for them.
Yep, priorities. So ranging anywhere from high to low there for you. So if it's something that is absolutely urgent, needs to get done today or tomorrow before any work can get done, you can go ahead and tag it that way. Makes it really easy to find right there on your list of to-dos because you can filter for that. Your subs can filter for that. Your clients can filter for that if that's something that you assign for them to be able to see as well. Tags are a way to really keep everything really organized and streamlined for you there. So, it's easy enough to go through and create a punch list, or it's easy enough to create a walkthrough, or if it's just your day-to-day tasks there for you. But, being able to filter through all of your different to-dos to be able to see, where am I at with my specific punch list, say, across all jobs. So if you tag it that way, that's how you can go through and find all those. It's a great way to track your progress across all of those jobs at that point too.
So you can create custom tags like punch list. This is a punch list to do, or this is a personal to do, or this is a to do for a sub or an owner, and then you sort that way.
Yep. Even a great list. Another way I've seen people use to-dos is to be able to create just a materials list. So that way, or while they're on the job site, making sure everything got dropped off, they have all their materials. They just check them all off right off the list right there for them.
That's smart.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Another level of customization is aptly named custom fields.
Yep.
Hey, that's good.
Great job by our product and marketing team.
Yeah.
Where do I find customization? In the custom fields.
Custom fields.
So that opens up to-dos to be really specific to the type of business they are. Because, we have 4 main segments, and inside that we have 100 different types of businesses. Home builders, remodelers, especially contractors, commercial. But everybody runs things differently. So this is a great way to get it customized.
Yep, very much so. One of the ways I like to see that coming through is especially for larger houses or just larger builds in general. I had one builder back when I was a coach years ago. The buildings that he was building, they would, you'd have like your A wing, your B wing, your C wing. And so that's where they would go through and start listing what part of the house or what part of the build it was part of. They had a drop down list, custom field there for you that they'd be able to go through and check that off for all their different locations where the work needed to take place for that particular to do.
People talk about being millionaires and billionaires, like, that's how you made it.
Yeah.
I think if you have wings in your house,
For sure.
that's it.
You probably did it.
You've made it.
Yeah. Speaking of making it, when you're making a to-do, see what I did there?
Wow.
Out in the field. I liked it.
Yeah, it was good. It was
Thanks.
good. Mobile's important.
When
so
you're
we'll allow the transition.
You're out in the field and you're making a to-do, you can use our voice dictation feature.
Yep. If anybody's like me, you got fat fingers, it definitely helps to cut back on the autocorrect there option there for you. So for your checklist items themselves, even just the description of the to-do, you just hit that little microphone button and start talking right into your phone. It makes it super easy to use.
Yep. You can also, right there in the mobile apps, is you can reorder the list. Some people want the to-dos in a certain order. They may not be the way that you're walking the job. So once you walk the job and sort of naturally, organically do your to-dos as you're walking through, then you can reorder really easily, right?
Yep. Yeah. In fact, actually, one way I see that get used a lot is while they are walking through the job, they're not, like you said, they're not grouping everything together right then and there. So they might have 5 or 6 different things on, say, a checklist of 20 different items, and they want to sort everything for the plumber at the top and everything for the drywaller at the bottom or so on there. So that's a nice way that they can just drag and drop. Now we also have that option where you can even hide all the items that are completed there for you too. So it cleans up that list so you can focus on everything that's still not finished yet too.
All right. So if you have a long list of things and it's a week into it, you might have 10 completed, but they might be mixed in with the undone and confuse people. That makes sense.
Yep.
Great.
Yeah. Always trying to figure out or trying to give you the easiest way to focus on what still needs to get completed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, this filter option on mobile is incredible. The list here of stuff that you can filter by is, I mean, keywords assigned to, whose thing is assigned to, status, the priority. I mean, you got a whole list of stuff here on mobile.
Yep. And any custom field that you create too.
Nice.
Let's circle back to the custom field.
He's got his iPhone. Are you an iPhone guy?
I am an iPhone guy.
Okay, so one of the cool things on iPhone, a lot of people don't know, and Tom, you might have told me technically with this is like when you press the
3D
actual
touch.
Yeah, so the 3D touch. So like when you actually press the Buildertrend app icon, one of the quick shortcuts is to-dos.
Yep.
So if you're listening to this and you do not know what I'm talking about, go find the Buildertrend icon on your phone, press down hard.
Yeah, yeah. It's like kind of like I always tell people you're kind of like pressing through the icon instead of just tapping on it. You press through it,
and then a shortcut comes up, and a lot of things you can do, like add a photo, add a to-do,
I think daily logs on there.
daily log, like
Messaging.
basically what we see the most, and it's just boom, you're right back into the app.
Another fun fact about 3D touch and to-dos is if you 3D touch on an actual to-do, it will bring it, like it'll pop into that one, but you can kind of like preview it a little bit first before you go into it. So if you just press and hold a little bit, it kind of gives you a quick preview to make sure you're going into the right to-do there.
Nice.
It's a fun little, fun fact. Speaking of fun facts, Jeff, let's ask you let's learn a little bit about you.
Okay.
And so we're going to start off first of all and saying that you're a little bit of a culinary artist.
Yeah.
Is that correct?
Yep. Yeah.
Could you share
for 10 years before coming to Buildertrend?
So you were a chef.
10 years.
And you went to culinary school?
Yep.
And did you work at a restaurant?
Yep.
What was your title there?
I started off as just a prep chef. I worked at a couple different line stations throughout the years, and I ended as a sous chef.
Nice.
Yep.
So do you still do that at home? Mm-hmm. What's some of your go-to dishes?
I like doing I guess kind of a shout out to one of our other guys here. We started calling it a butter steak.
Oh.
So I will take a New York strip is usually the best cut for this type of preparation, where I will put it in a Ziploc bag with a stick of butter, a couple cloves of garlic, and
whole
some
stick.
rosemary. Whole stick.
Yeah.
Okay.
This is a great dish already. I'm already loving
Yeah,
it.
it's the butter steak.
Yeah.
So then from there, I put it in a water bath, sous vide style, for at like 130 degrees for an hour. Take it out, let it rest for about 20 minutes, and then from there, while that's resting, I'll get a cast iron skillet going. I'll salt and pepper the steak, get the skillet rip roaring hot, and then sear it for about 2 minutes on one side. And then when I flip it, I throw the rest of the butter back in there with the garlic, more fresh garlic and more fresh rosemary, and I'll just baste it for about 45 seconds. Yeah, it's a pretty killer way to eat a steak because it'll give you a heart attack.
That's a good joke.
Yep.
Yeah.
I like that.
Now that sounds delicious.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, you won the chili eating contest, 2 years ago or every year?
No, I came in second on the chili eating contest.
I thought you came in first.
was rigged.
You had like a bunch
rigged.
of like really unique meats in there.
Yep. Yeah, I had 7 different types of
There it
animals
was,
in my
yeah.
chili.
It's
a lot of
for
animals.
a refined palate.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I won
liked
the
it.
barbecue cook-off.
Of course.
Hey,
you
there
did.
you go.
There you go. It's good.
So you also like graphic novels, is that correct? Like comics?
I like the
Something?
movies.
Okay, movies. Let's transition to movies then.
Like Marvel stuff, you mean?
Yeah, the Marvel
Oh, yeah,
movies,
There you
yeah.
go.
Yeah. So you're a big movie fan.
Yeah.
What's your favorite movie?
American Beauty.
That's not a comic book.
Not a
movie at all.
comic book,
Bit
but
of
it
a
is my
curveball.
favorite.
I
know,
like
sorry.
that movie.
It is a great movie.
That was good.
Yeah.
So have you seen, everybody's talking about Marvel's, what's the last one?
Endgame?
Infinity?
No, we're not doing that on here. That's like spoiler city.
No, I don't want to spoilers, but
Yeah.
have you seen, it's the 3.5 hour one.
Oh, yeah.
Have you seen
Yep.
it? It's
Mhm.
good.
Yeah.
It's like Lord of the Rings, you know.
So bring a pillow and a blanket.
Blanket.
Yeah, I think it
And your
clocks
friend
in like 3
Smeagol.
hours. Yep.
Yeah.
There you go. Okay.
American Beauty, that's an interesting pick.
Yeah.
Why do you like it so much?
You know, it's a guy who just kind of like, I don't know, he was like settling for the longest time. You know, he's just going through the day-to-day actions. Eventually he gets to that point where he just kind of has enough and wants to try to improve himself and better his life. Now, granted, there's some questionable things that he does in that movie too,
Sure.
but I just kind of like that. I like the way it was shot. I like the style of the movie itself. And then I like the fact that he's trying to like improve himself, kind of better his situation, so to speak.
It's good.
What's a fun fact about Jeff?
Give us one
Koraleski?
fun fact.
Gosh, that one I don't know. Oh, I recently took up pottery.
That is a fun fact.
Yep.
That is a fun fact.
Do we have a what do they call those? What do they call the spin thing?
Just wheel?
Do you have a
potter
wheel? Do you have a
wheel?
wheel at your own?
Not yet. I am working on converting my the garage space into a studio.
pottery
for us.
studio.
Yeah,
Very, very American Beauty.
yeah,
It is.
very much.
Yeah.
He converts his garage to a weightlifting area.
Yeah.
And whatever else.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's been 15 years.
Yeah, that one's been around for a while.
I think spoiler alerts kind of they expire at some point. So what do you like to make?
I've made almost a full set of plates. I made 12 plates and 7 of them survived the firing. And I am working on creating a really big bowl to make pasta with.
Love
Awesome.
Yep.
Do you have your own kiln then, or where are you going to get these things fired?
There's a place out in Elkhorn, like a little studio space that they let you rent out from time to time, and then they do firings out there for you.
Nice.
You gonna make your own cups and forks and just get Game of Thrones on us?
Oh yeah, yep.
I like it. Nice, I like that.
I didn't catch the Game of Thrones reference. For
Well,
he's
like-
making his own cups,
Well, I mean,
like old school style.
and they can't go to Target and buy things, so yeah, they make their own, and
Yeah.
I guess that was the reference.
Stoneware.
I thought your fun fact was you're gonna be your bulldogs. You love bulldogs.
Oh yeah, got two bulldogs too. Yep.
They're-
2 English bulldogs, Minion and Penny.
Great names for them.
Yep.
Wow.
Minion and Penny.
Minion
Yeah,
and Penny.
Yep.
there you go.
They have some what do you call it, like cultural icons there for the Minions, obviously with Despicable Me and
Yeah, I got
Penny
that one.
from Big Bang Theory.
Oh, I didn't know that's
stuttered
where it
off
came
that one.
from.
Yep.
Yeah.
There you go.
Okay, let's wrap this up. Jeff, thanks so much for joining us on the podcast today and sharing your knowledge of to-dos.
So if you're not using To-Dos today, you should be doing it. Number one, how do you do that?
How do you do that? First thing I would say is log into the program, just take a look, and at that same time, while you're in there, go ahead and hit the question mark button to contact your coach.
Yeah, so the top right of your screen, there's a question mark, and then there's a contact coach, and it'll give you their email, even a link to their Calendly,
Yep.
which is the scheduling app we use to book a time. To-Dos, you can probably get kicked off in 15, 20 minutes, just
Oh,
the
yeah.
basics, because
Oh,
it
for
is
sure.
pretty simple, and then you'll just sort of keep building your knowledge as you use it.
Yep.
And if you're on the go and you're listening to this on your mobile phone and you want to check it out, open up the Buildertrend app. On the side of it, scroll all the way down to contact us, and you'll see who your coach is. You can just tap a button there, a little phone icon, and it'll give them a call. Awesome. Well, thanks, Jeff, for joining us on the show. Again, don't forget to check out the show notes. We'll have more information about to-dos in there. And, Jeff, we got to put a picture of you being a chef somewhere.
Or Penny and Minions.
Oh, there you go. You and the Bulldogs.
Yep.
We could do that. Thanks, Jeff.
Definitely. Thank you guys.
Appreciate you.
Love what you heard? Don't forget to rate and subscribe to our podcast so you can hear from more guests that will benefit your business. Also, please check out our show notes page for more information on what we discussed on this episode. You can find it at buildertrend.com/podcast. Thanks for listening, and we'll see you next time on The Building Code.
Appreciate you.